is when it's just kind of a hurry up and wait kind of thing, because you're waiting on epoxy to cure, or you're waiting on the temper to finish before you get to the epoxy, the handle part. So it's not always blowing and going out here. You know, sometimes it's a little, which is not good for me because I'm not good at slowing down. I like to be moving, but sometimes we have to just kind of slow down and take a breath and, you know, take things in and study it a little bit, I reckon. But I don't know. Here we are, slowed down. So, all right, so what we're gonna do now is we're gonna go cut these pins off, and we'll grind everything flush on the sides and along the profile of that handle, and then we can do our sanding and shaping and prettying up and all that stuff. We'll go right over here. Hand sanding on it a little bit to try to get the grind lines from the higher grit ceramic and aluminum oxide belts that we use to do the aggressive and heavy moving of the material.
Is that vise something that's around the industry, or is that another Brian contraption?
No, this is not a Brian contraption. This is called a knife maker's vise. It's a knife vise. It's been around for a while, I'm sure, this concept. I see them for sale on the internet and stuff. I actually had a friend, a Facebook friend, I've never had the opportunity to meet him. Dwayne Bennett built this for me. He's from Tennessee, pretty good fella. But yeah, this is this is not a Brian idea, but it's as handy as anything to have in the shop for what we're doing right now, hand sanding these handle scales. know that this wood is beautiful. I just can't see it yet. But I'm fixing to reveal. It's amazing what this little bit of oil can do. Change the looks of that black walnut. It just and that's only hand sanding up to 600 grit. It just changes it so much. I love it. And the thing about it is, we'll let this oil soak in this handle for a day or so, and apply some more oil, and repeat that process a few times until it gets to where it doesn't just completely soak that oil up into the wood, and make it really, really pretty. So, all right, we're at the part of the bill where we can, I usually put my maker's mark on here. Is that something that you want on this now?
Absolutely.
All right. It's just acetone. We'll clean all the oils and grime and everything off of it so that we can do our etch. We're going to etch our maker's mark into it. Putting all this tape around it because I'm fixing to use electricity and salt water to etch my mark into this, and I want to try to keep as much of that from bleeding onto the outside steel. That's what I'm trying to cover it all up for. I don't know if you can hear that on there, but it's kind of burning, I guess, eating into that steel. You know, everywhere the stencil is at, where it's open and revealing the steel, it's gonna burn that mark into it. And I think that should be pretty good. We're gonna take it off and look at it. See there?
Yes, sir.
Now, a little bit bled through down there, but I'm gonna take this to the grinder and clean it up with a Scotch-Brite belt. And but it's a pretty cool little process: electricity and salt water. Got our mark on, got our handles on, sanded, got the first coat of oil, got our bevels all ground in, and about all that's left to do now is put an edge on it. That's what we're going to do now. We'll start with a 150 grit belt to get our initial edge belt started. We've got a little bit of a flat here. We've got our primary bevels right here. Brings it from a flat area, angled down, and now we're creating the secondary or the cutting edge bevel. And we started it with a 150 grit belt, and you can't see it on here, but in doing what we were doing, we're creating a little bit of a burr from the tip all the way back to here. And we want to get a good solid burr all the way the length of it on both sides. And once we establish that burr, we'll move up. So I'm at 150 grit. I'm probably going to go to a 400 grit next. I hate these belts. These things are a pain in the tail. And I haven't figured out yet how to stop them from curling up like that. 600 grit. Now I'm gonna take it over here to my buffing table, and we're gonna run it over the, I can't remember the name of the product I'm using, but it's paper wheels that we use to kind of stripe it with. We'll go back to the belt sander, put the Scotch-Brite belt on there, give it another final good cleaning, knock some little rough edges down, and we'll be ready to do a sharpness test. I usually like to chop a water bottle or a Coke bottle or something like that, and we'll do that before we call it a day on this one. Got her cleaned up, got an edge on her. It's pretty sharp. We're gonna go get us a big Coke bottle and do a bottle test. We're gonna try to slice it and see what it does, and we can go from there on touching up the edge if we need to. All right, so what we got here is my interpretation of a mix between what I would use as far as you know, like an outdoor kitchen camp type knife. It's 1/8 of an inch thick at the spine, got pretty much a full flat grind. It'd be good for, like I said, you know, cutting food for camping and then stuff like that. You can use it in the kitchen, but it also is got enough meat on this spine that you could use it for batoning through, you know, wood for kindling for a fire or anything like that. The steel, we hammered this blade out of some 8670 that I get from Pop's Knife Supply. It's a great steel, I love it. Some locally sourced black walnut I got from my dad, and brass pins. It's been a fun build. I hope that everybody has enjoyed watching along as much as I've enjoyed building it. You know, just always remember there's not a whole lot of difference in the process of building a knife and our daily walk with Jesus, and you know, from coming to know Jesus and our walk with him throughout the rest of the time. It's a really amazing process and very similar, the two are. I really appreciate everybody watching. I hope that y'all go give this channel, give them a subscription on the YouTube, follow them on the Facebook. Great bunch of folks. I've come to love them already. So yeah, y'all go give them a follow. And he followed me on Facebook, Lucky Town Customs, Ryan Luckey Easterling on Facebook. You can find me there and follow my little venture as we go along. But anyway, I thank y'all and God bless.